So I started creating content about 3 years ago, and to this day I've been doing it all alongside my normal day job. And if you're watching this video, you too might be in a similar boat or have at least considered at some point doing content creation or some kind of creative project outside of your normal commitments. And I'll be the first to admit that it's difficult to do just about anything productive outside of a normal job, not just in terms of time management, but also just mentally being able to handle everything can be a struggle. There have been some months where views go down or weeks where I miss my upload schedule, but at the end of the day, I'm still here, you're still here, and that's what really matters. But there are a few specific tips that have really helped me personally balance everything, and they kind of fall into three main pillars: time, energy, and mindset. So if you don't mind, I'd like to share those tips with you as I take you along with me on this beautiful autumn Saturday. Man, I was a little thirsty. Orange juice, so good. I know people say there's too much sugar and stuff, but I mean, it's like a fruit. It's a natural thing, so I think it's fine, right? So as far as time management, there's a few different things I try to keep in mind, and how I spend my time during the week is going to look very different from the weekends, simply because I have a job during the week, and that's going to take up a significant portion of my time, whether I like it or not. And so I'm going to be able to get fewer things done with regards to my YouTube channel or whatever other creative projects I might be working on during the week. That doesn't mean that I can't get anything done during the weekdays. I just have to kind of lower my expectations a little bit about the amount of time that I realistically have to allocate towards my YouTube channel or whatever it is. And this greatly depends on the nature of your job and your situation, but I've personally found that I can just wake up 1 to 2 hours earlier than I would normally need to make it on time to my job, and spend that 1 hour or 90 minutes working on my YouTube channel, editing a video, scripting, things like that maybe isn't going to take too long, but I can kind of chip away a little bit at it every morning. But I think the biggest gains can really happen from taking advantage of weekends. This is definitely a tricky one, especially if you're surrounded by friends and family who maybe work typical Monday through Friday jobs and normally just take the weekends off to relax and have fun and go out at night and stay up late and things like that. I saw this quote once saying that you should use weekends to build the life you want rather than escape the life you have. And I think that really has stuck with me. It's not that I'm necessarily trying to escape my current life, but I do want to make content creation and YouTube and taking videos and stuff and that more creative work into a part of my regular lifestyle. And currently I can do that by taking advantage of weekends. And so, like I did today, I'll try to at least wake up early on Saturday and kind of treat Saturday as another work day, except I'm not clocking into my normal company, but clocking into the company of myself. And so like today, I still woke up at my normal time and I'm filming this video. I'm gonna work on some other YouTube stuff throughout the day. Pretty much all the videos that you've seen on my channel have been filmed on the weekends because it takes me a while to make one of these videos and film them because I keep messing up what I'm trying to say. And there's a lot that goes into these videos, and there's not enough time to film all that before my workday unless I wake up at like 4 a.m. or something, which is probably not sustainable. And then lastly, the hard truth that I had to kind of come to terms with is that I do actually have the time to make this work, to upload a YouTube video every week on my channel or make progress on my goals outside of my normal job. I'm just not making the best use of that time. Everyone has only 24 hours in a day, and some people have even more difficult situations than you or I, and they're still able to make things work. And so it's just a matter of actually making the best use of the time that you do have. I know I had to be careful about falling into the trap of spending all my time planning out the things that I'm going to do, or figuring out the most efficient way to do the thing, or thinking about how maybe later I'm going to do the actual work, instead of actually just sitting down, pushing through the resistance and doing the thing. Speaking of which, I got to go plan out some videos and do some editing and stuff, so I'm going to go hit up a cafe.
Hello.
Can I get a just hot latte for here? Whole milk. Can you do that like a ceramic like mug? I guess regular mug. Miles. All right, guys, I am back home now, and it's about 3 p.m. or so. It's pretty locked in at the cafe. That usually always happens to me for whatever reason. It's just a combination of caffeine boost from the coffee, also just like being in a new environment where I've paid a little bit of money to park and buy the coffee and go to the cafe. So got a good amount of stuff done. Shout out to the 2 baristas at the cafe who were really cool. They saw my camera and were, asking about, what do you vlog or make YouTube videos? And I told them, and they're interested, asked to, what my channel was and stuff like that. That was cool because I'm still like a bit, embarrassed about the whole vlogging thing, especially in public. And I'm a little shy about saying, yeah, like I'm a YouTuber, I make content and stuff. But it just shows you, some people are actually kind of interested, and it is sort of a cool thing, I guess. So yeah, definitely trying to be more open and less shy about the whole thing. Man, I just realized that my camera was kind of crooked. All right, hopefully that is better. And that kind of brings me to the next pillar or set of tips when it comes to balancing a full-time job with content creation or some type of creative side project. And that is all about the mental side of things. The first thing I try to recognize is that just working a job on its own is already a hard thing to do. So trying to do something else alongside that requires a lot of energy and focus and creativity is not going to be easy. If I'm ever feeling particularly drained or just like things are especially difficult, I think of this quote or video or clip I saw of Alex Hormozi where he basically talks about how this is what hard feels like, and this idea of, you know that the path you're on or the things that you're trying to do in life are going to be difficult, they're going to be hard. And so when you start to feel kind of stressed or anxious or like just things are really difficult, well, that's the feeling of what it's like to do something that is hard and difficult. And it's actually a good feeling to have because it means that you are actually doing the thing. It's going to involve sort of pushing up against that pain and discomfort. And so if you get used to kind of feeling that and recognizing that that's just a feature of the whole process, then it's going to be a lot easier to kind of push through and just stay in the game.
The hard way is the easy way, because the easy way never gets you there. You're gonna lose sleep, you'll doubt whether it'll work, you'll stress to make ends meet, you won't finish your to-do list, you'll wonder if you made the right call, and have no way to know for years. That's what hard feels like.
All right, I just recorded about 20 minutes without pressing record. So this is a very common rookie mistake that I just made, but we're just gonna say it again. As I was saying, or as I already said, another thing I keep in mind is just having gratitude for my job, even if it's not the most ideal, perfect, fulfilling, energizing dream job. I try to view it not as the be all and end all of my life, but as just one piece of the puzzle, one part of the broader living, breathing organism that is my entire lifestyle. I see it as kind of, one organ in my body that's supporting one function in my life. But then I have other things in my life, like YouTube, like content creation, like my friends, family, and other hobbies that also bring me fulfillment and joy in my life. And going along with that, another idea that I kept in mind when first just starting on this whole content creation YouTuber journey is something that I heard Tim Ferriss talk about, which is that when he decides whether or not to pursue a particular project in his life, whether it's starting a podcast, a YouTube channel, or building a card game is something that he did recently, he asked himself the very important question that if this project were to fail by all sort of external metrics, views, likes, money made, would he still want to do that thing? And also, would the act of pursuing that project, even if it failed, help him build certain valuable skills that could transfer to other things in his life, or develop some meaningful relationships that could last beyond, the length of that specific project? So I asked myself those same questions when starting this YouTube channel, and the answers were yes. Thankfully, can definitely learn a lot of transferable skills, whether it's video editing, videography, cinematography, public speaking, being able to synthesize and convey my thoughts to a camera out loud, writing, various business skills. All of these are transferable skills that even if, my YouTube channel got deleted today, that I would be able to carry on to other opportunities in my life. And then on the relationship side of things, there's a lot of potential by putting yourself out there on the internet and social media to connect with and meet other like-minded people, especially other content creators. I've found, over the past year, I've finally started to connect with and meet some other YouTubers in person, and that's been really amazing because they're all kind of going through similar struggles and facing similar challenges in their life, and we all kind of align with certain interests and our personalities to a certain extent. And so having that core foundation makes it a lot easier to sustain motivation even when things get difficult. All right, I'm getting really hungry right now, and I remembered that I have some leftover Chipotle in the fridge. So now I'm excited to eat that. I'm probably going to record the rest of this later tonight after I hit a workout. So I'll talk to you in a bit. All right, we are back from a quick workout and prepping dinner. While I wait for my dinner to finish up, I just wanted to talk about a couple more things in this video. The main one being just how to have enough energy just physically to do other projects, whether it's, running a YouTube channel or any sort of creative pursuit outside of something that's already very energy demanding like a day job. In addition to the things that I already discussed in this video, I think just taking care of your body and your health so that you feel energized and vital on a daily basis is something that gets often overlooked. And I think there's a lot of sort of forces in society that are sort of making it more difficult to stay healthy and energized. The main one being kind of like the food supply, at least here in the United States, kind of the culture around that with there just being a lot of junk food out there. There's the big three things, sleep, nutrition, and exercise that will probably have the biggest impact on that altogether. So I make a conscious effort to make sure I'm on top of each of those. You can see I've got the blue light blockers. Since we're nearing our bedtime, I try to eat healthy, unprocessed foods and cook at home a lot, or just make, better choices while I'm eating out. And I also try to get exercise on a regular basis in some form, whether that's cardio or weightlifting, any number of things. That's kind of the basic stuff that you've heard probably a million times, but easily gets neglected and is definitely very important. But on top of that, there's another thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately, and that's just doing activities that actually energize me. And you've probably felt this where there's certain types of things that you do in your daily life that leave you feeling kind of drained. It could be, I know for me, it's like socializing. If it's with certain types of people, can leave me feeling exhausted. Sitting in traffic, shopping, leaves me feeling really drained, and working on certain types of mundane tasks and activities that feel like they don't really have any real purpose or meaning. Whereas there are probably some other activities in your life that, despite physically expending energy to do those activities, like you burn calories or whatever it is, you exert yourself in some way to do that thing, you actually finish that activity feeling more energized, like you just, took 2 shots of espresso or something. Those types of activities, I think, are really magical and important to just find ways to do them on a regular basis so that you can just feel more energized and excited to go about your daily life. Usually this is stuff that you would just genuinely have fun doing and want to do, regardless of whether it makes you money or progresses your career or is traditionally seen as productive in some way. For me, this is, of course, the basics: exercise, sleep, and nutrition. But beyond that, things like going out in nature, getting some fresh air, kind of watching the sunset, or just like going to beautiful places in nature usually just fills me up with life. On top of that, taking photos and videos, like going out and to aesthetic places and trying to take nice kind of film photography or cinematic videos. things like that is something that I'm trying to do more of, which is kind of why I've been trying to switch up the YouTube video style a little bit lately to make it more enjoyable and more energizing for me, because I think that'll result in just better content and videos for you guys. And then socializing is an interesting one for me because I'm definitely a very introverted person. And so traditionally, I would say, honestly, like at least 60 to 80% of the time, socializing with people leaves me feeling pretty drained afterwards. But there are rare circumstances, hopefully they're going to become less rare as I navigate my life, but there are certain circumstances or certain types of people or certain types of conversations that I have that actually give me a lot of energy. And a lot of times that's when we're talking about things that I guess I'm genuinely interested in, things that we can genuinely relate to, and I'm not trying to just socialize and make small talk for the sake of making small talk and just kind of make up things. That really drains me. But when I can talk and connect with people about things that we both, genuinely are interested in and maybe relate to in some way, like talking about things like YouTube and creative stuff and health and gear and tech and all these various nerdy, geeky interests of mine, that type of stuff will leave me feeling energized. And so I've been trying to do that a little bit more lately. But if you made it this far in this video, definitely leave a comment down below so I know who the real ones are. Maybe you could tell me sort of what creative projects or just in general, any sort of side projects that you maybe have pursued or thought about pursuing in your life, whether it's something like YouTube or content creation or something entirely different. Just definitely let me know down in the comments. I'm interested in getting to know you guys better and just learn a little bit about what you're up to and what sort of things you enjoy doing in your life. So yeah, leave a comment down below and you can click here to watch the latest episode from me. I'll see you over there.